Hi, today I want to go round part of the driveway garden where there are several plants that need attention. They need either cutting back, replacing, or moving them to some other part of the garden. So I'm not sure how long this video will be. I want to go into a bit of detail about each plant in this garden. So this is part of the garden around my driveway. So enjoy. The perennials will start blossoming out soon, so I want to leave room for them to develop more, and I also want to clear some space for a few summer annuals. So let's go. Right, this is the driveway garden that we're going to go around today. It's nearly home from work time, so I'm hoping we don't get disturbed too much by traffic. I want to start with this Felicia, which is about 7, 8, probably at least 8 years old, and it flowers continuously. It's in a very sheltered spot here. Flowers right through the winter. It's getting quite big and a little bit woody, so I'm thinking of replacing it. And I have discovered down here there's a new plant that has decided to grow just here, so I'm going to dig this out and replace my big shrub very soon with that small one, and this one can be thrown away. So I'll go around the outside first. So that's that. We've got a little bit of erigon there, which I just pull it out. If it gets too wild, I let the snapdragons self-seed and I dehead them so that they don't go crazy, but they go well with the pinks and blues in my garden. So this little Hebe is just finishing off flowering. The lobelia comes up everywhere in this garden, and I just let it go. So that's those. I have some little bits of phlox Daniel, it's called, which I've taken off a larger plant and put round the edges of this garden. This here is Gaura, and I transplanted it from another part of the garden where it got a bit crowded. Well, it's not only got crowded here by the native shrub beside it, it's also getting a bit old as well. You can see in here the old growth in here. So I'm thinking, because it hasn't conveniently shot out any new little shrub plants for me, I'm thinking I'll take some cuttings of this and try and get some more plants that way and replace this. So that's that. Now in here, with this lovely pale pink snapdragon, is a Californian poppy. Now let me see if I can find which is a seedling from some seeds I grew, and it's a lovely colour. Most of it has been a bit remiss with this. I haven't deheaded it as well as I did last year, so it's sort of stopped flowering, but there's a few little buds there. There's more lobelia and more self-seeded snapdragon, and an agastache pink grown from seed. So yes, there's some gaps there where my tulips grew, so I'll be putting some annuals in there. And there's a few pots there that have had bulbs in. So here's my two native shrubs there in flower at the moment. And round here is the copa I let spread everywhere. It dies down in the winter a little in places that are not sheltered. Oh, there's a little bit of noise around here. There's a truck over the road. Never mind, we'll hope we will carry on. Oh, here's Here's some Californian poppy that's stretched out in here amongst this coprosma, so that's rather pretty. I was actually coming up here to look at these geraniums. Now in here I've put some little lilies, and actually back here there were also some lilies which I need to, well, maybe if I move the gara I won't have to move the lilies because they are a little bit squashed under here. So one flowered and the others didn't make it this year. They're a little bit bullied there. So one of them has to go. So just moving back along here. So right, there's 3 more lilies there just finishing. More bacopa and lobelia here. Just let them go. There's a campanula in here. It's another coprosma which I think might have got some frosted. Got frosted, I think. We don't have really hard winters, but I think this one might have succumbed. I don't know if it'll recover or not. So there's some more of that campanula climbing up in there. And above it is a pink rose. Oh, the name's gone out of my head. Ashma. I'll put it up. This is a standard rose, one of my new ones. This is its 2nd season. So in here is one of my salvias, one of my favourite perennials. Sort of shrubby really. And I need to keep it well trimmed back because it goes a little crazy. And it also self-seeds. So I've got so many salvia seedlings around the garden. There's one here. And I really need to start some repotting of some of them and checking the colours before I decide what their fate will be. This here is a plumbago which will flower shortly in beautiful blue flowers, true blue flowers, and it has to be kept fairly well trimmed as well. It goes a bit wild. There's another self-seeded snapdragon which is rather pretty beside this carnation. Now this carnation, this little white carnation here with a wee red trim round it, is a seed that I bought about 3 years ago, and I'll have to put the name up of the actual name of the seed, of the flower. It's dianthus carnation, but I need to put the variety up for you. This here, I've planted agastache, veronica and salvia, and I've become confused because this hasn't flowered yet and I actually don't know what it is. So I've got three or four around the garden, which I'm waiting to see what the flowers will produce. So this one, here's my pink agastache again, and a blue one together, pretty good. In the back there's a lupin, which has had its really big flush of flowers, but it's still going. I dehead that regularly to keep it going. Here's the first flowering coming up of forgotten the name again. Al Austin. Oh, hello. Did you think? Oh, he said, you got away without me knowing where you were. And here in the back as well, above the plumbago and the salvia, is an allium. I'll put the name of that up as well. It's looks pretty good there. So I'll step back a bit. Okay, it'll look pretty good once those blue flowers come out, if some of these are still flowering. I think the agastache goes on for quite a while. There's a salvia here, a darker pink, and underneath is a dianthus here, and an arabis beside it, which I think might be pink. It's already flowered. I'm hoping the arabis will flower again. This peony's finished. Over the back here is Deep Secret. Looking pretty good there with the geranium underneath it. And there's another one round, we'll go round it, we'll see it. So that's looking lovely there. And this is a Persicaria, which flowered briefly. I'm hoping it will flower again soon. And this is catmint, Nepeta, and it seems to be throwing up little seedlings everywhere. I really want it to be in here with this little Diasca, and that's my intention was having these two together, because they do look rather sweet together. But the Diasca is a little bit crowded, really. So I have to dig out some of these catmint, some of these Nepeta, and either give them away. I don't like throwing plants away, so I'll be giving them away. Here's another one of these plants that I'm curious about what it actually is. And there's another one there. So anyway, I'm sure I'll find out soon. So, and I wanted to show you this. This is my lavender. It's 2 bits ready to be cut back. The flowers are finished. So I'm cutting it back, right back as far as I can, but still leaving a little bit of green on the pieces. So you can see here that there's new growth starting down below. So you can go down quite a long way and cut it as low as you can without going into bare wood. So I thought I'd just cut half of that to show you. So you end up with a neat little mound which should come away and flower again. Here's a little arabis here. Right, and here, now, here's something. Here's another. The lavender is another thing that we'll send out. So here we go. We've got a new lavender plant, which is quite good because around the front I have one that got a bit too wet. They don't like being too wet. Certainly don't like sitting in water. So I have now at least one little seedling I can replace it with. So there's more seedlings of the Nepeta. Now this is called cherry pie. That's its common name, and I'll write up its other name. But it dies down in the winter. Now this is early summer here, and it's still only just coming up. It's beautiful when it's in the midsummer, when it's fully out. So what I did last year, I took some cuttings and I put some in pots. So here it is here. It's got a beautiful smell, which is why it's called cherry pie. So I made two pots of that. So I had a flower that starts a little bit early in the season, which is good. So now I'll be waiting for this. It's nice to see at least a little bit of growth in there. I need to probably lift it, actually, and put it away somewhere sheltered in the winter. So there's more lobelia, some arabis, geraniums. There's another lavender seedling, so it's really good that lavender does that. I didn't plant those. This is the remains of my little petticoat daffodil, and there's a delphinium in here which you can see is sending out a new shoot, which I need to look after this and water it, and I'll get some more second flowering. The lilies over the back are finished. We've got some rhodohypoxis in here, and some seedlings of nigella, love in the mist. There's some rhodohypoxis that's a double pink. Geraniums. Now this one here is a potentilla, which is also due for some sort of chop, because it goes like this at the base. It does send out seedlings, but I seem to have pulled them all out, so I'm not sure. It's such a pretty little flower that I don't want to dig it out. So I'm thinking I might plant it somewhere in the back of the border where its base is covered by other plants. That'll be... So here's another shot of Deep Secret here. Camera doesn't really do it justice. There's my lupin from the other side. James, that's right. James L. Austin. That's this one. So in here were my irises. So that's a bare patch where I'll be able to put some seedlings, some annuals. Now in there are some seedlings from the plumbago, which sends up seedlings everywhere, and sometimes I grow them on and give them away. This is a parahebe, another plant that probably needs a good trim back, but I think it's getting a little bit past its prime, you might say. There's another persicaria in there, which has a little pink flower. Oh, and I've replaced a gypsophila here, which came up here underneath my climbing rose, Bantry Bay, and looked rather marvellous, but the frost got that, so I have planted a new one. I don't know how it's going to go. Might not have much time before the season ends. Right, so around here, around Bantry Bay, some new foliage on it. Getting ready for a second flowering, I hope. We've got a clematis in there too, which is finished. So this is round the other side of the plumbago, where I have some foxgloves, which are finished. More phlox, and the other side of the salvia. So along here, here's another salvia seedling. They're everywhere, and some of them are different colours, so that's why I want to pot them up and wait and see what colour they'll be. So there's nothing... I want to put some more ground covers along here, because the tree roots are going to interfere with the growth on this side of the garden, I think. Hello. You like that little spot, don't you? Me? Hello. Okay, so there it is. This is the part of the driveway garden. I just wanted to talk about what you can do with some of these plants when they get a bit old and tired. That you can either take cuttings, and there are lots of how-to videos on YouTube showing you how to do that with different plants, and watch out for little seedlings that they throw, because sometimes just tucked underneath them you'll find that there are little plants that you can use. Okay, there it is, one small part of the driveway garden. Okay, if you enjoyed that video, there are a couple of other videos on in my playlist which you might enjoy. One is 29 flowering ground covers, and the other one is a quick garden tour, which is around the whole of my garden in the early summer. So please consider subscribing or liking this video, and we'll see you next time.